This is a 1967 Ford F100, and this customer convinced us to do something we've never done before. This is a multi-year build and something we're really proud of. Let's get into it. This is Spencer with Fat Fender Garage. I'm sitting next to a 1967 Ford F100. This customer convinced us to do something we've never done before, and it has to do with the paint job. BASF, it's a nice charcoal, and it has some really cool pearl in it, so if you get it in the nice shop lights or outdoors, you'll really see that sparkle come in. I don't want to use the word princessy, but like I really like that term. It's got some sparkle to it that you don't quite notice. But the really cool thing this customer had us do that we've never done on a Ford truck before is a bottom pinstripe. If you'll notice, it's subtle, but you have a really, really magnificent blue color on the bottom, and even more subtly, you have the thick one, and then you have a very small pinstripe on top of this. Obviously, it adds a layer of complexity to the paint job when you're trying to paint it. I think the end result on this is perfect. Not only that, some other cool things to play along with the blue is we have blue Wilwood calipers. They match the bottom of the truck. And then on all of the trim in small subtle areas, we've also included some fun blue, like on the Ranger. This was originally a Ranger package. We put the nice blue down in there. And then likewise over here on the hood, you have the nice Ford built-in blue right here to add a little bit of accent. So the customer's goal of this was a smoky, glossy charcoal look. So it's a two-tone gray and charcoal. So the goal here on the overall color scheme of the truck was a nice smoky charcoal color with a nice gloss and some pearl into it, and then really add some just subtle flares of blue. So we didn't want to go overwhelmingly blue. The goal here is really focus on the charcoal side of things, but a really, really nice paint job. We're all super happy with it. And that was ultimately the customer's goal, was get something that they can be proud of. And I really do think we're going to deliver a truck that they're going to be really happy with. So all of this here has all been cerakoted in a gray color. And the idea is contrasting colors that are from the same family. So on the body, you have our nice door handles for the bumpside truck, 6772. You have our billet mirrors. These are a new product for us. These are universal. They'll work on anything. They're really nice. Go to our website. We're super happy with how they turned out. But that's the overall goal here. And so if we want to talk more about the trim side of things, all of this has been cerakoted. So this is the original 67 grill. You'll notice because it's flat all the way across. From 70 to 72, they turn into the split grill. So they'll split it down the middle. They'll have more of the grooves on the sides. I'm not really phrasing that correctly, but that's the big determination on what model. 67, 72, 67 to 69 typically has a similar flat grill. Granted, they did change every year slightly. And then once you get 70 and later, you have that split grill. So that's a good way to indicate, but all of this has been cerakoted. If you're not familiar with Cerakote, it's like powder coat, but it's a little bit thinner. It's super weather durable. But the biggest thing with Cerakote is if you're gonna Cerakote things like this, especially when there are bolts that have to go in, if you were to powder coat it, it's too thick. So if you go to screw a bolt in after you've Cerakoted it, it's not gonna work and you're gonna have to clean that out. Cerakote is thin enough that it still allows you to reassemble it and not have too many headaches, but it's still super weather durable. It can be out in the elements, you can beat it up. We're big fans of Cerakote. We use them on a lot of stuff. We're really, really happy on how the execution on this particular truck turned out. So coming into the engine bay here, you'll notice on all of our builds, at least for the majority of them, we do a matte finish on the inside. So inside of the cab, inside of the engine bay, there is no gloss finish here. So that's intentional to give you some contrast without giving you too many colors. We didn't want to just go with just straight black on this. We wanted it to be the color of the truck, but you want to be able to differentiate it. So matte is a good way to go here. It also hides dirt better, it hides scratches or anything that might happen. You'll notice on the inside of the hood, on the inner fenders, everything like that, we go with a matte finish, which is really cool. Now, let's jump into the engine bay side of things. We have what seems to be the standard at this point, which is the Whipple supercharged 5-liter Coyote. This is a Gen 4 Illuminator Coyote and a 3.0 liter Whipple. This thing makes about 750, 800 out of the box once it's all put together. We haven't dynoed this truck, nor will we probably, so we're not sure on the final number. A lot comes down to wheels and tires that you're using, ride height, a lot of variables, but it's safe to say this thing should make about 800 horsepower at the crank and about 670 to about 700 horsepower at the wheels. So really fast, really fun, we love it. Custom inner fenders that we make, we're almost done with these so we can sell them to you guys, so we'll keep you updated on that. We've run into some hiccups, but that should be something fun we can offer. Really nice cold air intake that we make. We do all of the welding here in-house, and we put that all together. You also have your aluminum Wizard radiator, fantastic for a supercharged setup. You have your dual Spal 12-inch brushless fans, and they work fantastic. You also have, we only work with the best brands. That's a big staple for us in how we work. You have Wilwood brakes, and a 8-inch, or excuse me, a 7-inch Tough Stuff booster behind it. Really, really good brakes, and we make sure that we're very particular about how we bench bleed these, so you have the perfect ratio of pedal. So when you step on the pedal, because they're power brakes, you want it to be extremely responsive. Not too responsive. You can't have it so twitchy. You've been in cars like that where it just lurches and it's uncomfortable. You want that balance. So you have to get it down to the hundredths of a centimeter on dialing in that brake setup. So it's a science and it's really fun. We have other YouTube videos about brakes and how that works. So if you want to learn more about that, you can tune into the channel. We also have our Fat Fender Garage hood hinges. These are kind of a staple. We've really developed a formula, if you will, with these bump side trucks where ultimately a customer can really make it their own, but we're putting them into almost like a templated box where there are some preset options they can pick from, and the overall goal is not to overly drive up budget, not to overly drive up timeline, really give them a truck that's personal to them, but it's all been engineered to a science. It all works fantastically. So this is really the template right here. These have worked out fantastic for us, and we know from experience that this thing should drive amazing. Anyways, we've covered the engine bay. That's all really cool. Now to dive into the wheels, these are shot wheels. These are the drift concave wheels. They look so bad. We've cerakoted these to match. And of course you have your 14-inch Wilwood brakes. You're gonna have 6 piston in the front, 4 piston in the rear. These things stop on a dime, big on Wilwood. Most people in the industry will tell you the same thing. It's the reason they're a household name. They make the best brakes. We're super, super high on them. In the interior, not much to cover yet because we're just getting started, but you'll notice we have a high hump trans tunnel because this thing's lowered. We have some Dakota digital RTX gauges in there as well, and we've already outfitted his retro sound radio and his AC controls. So we've done a lot of the premeditated work in here to get this ready. Now we're just getting to the point that we're getting started to do interior. I'm not sure if this is final scope, but my understanding was we were gonna put some nice Mustang bucket seats in here and do a nice Apex Outlaw leather colors. So more to come on that. Not sure if that's still the confirmed what we're doing with it, but should be a really, really cool driver for the customer and his family to drive around. My understanding is this might be in parades, so really, really cool. And we're about to jump into the wood bed, which is what you'll see here is kind of blank. So we're gonna Cerakote bed strips to match the color of the Cerakote everywhere else on the truck. For wood color, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm willing to bet we're gonna go more of a charcoal color, more of a gray hue to kind of play onto the colorway of the truck. So that's really, really cool. Now coming back here, because this is a lowered truck, the bed has been raised. About this much. It's usually about 4 to 6 inches, and then this is where the battery goes. So the cool thing is you can flip the battery on or off at any point that you want to. If you were to go out of town, you just got to kick the battery off, and if you ever needed to jump start it, get power to it, you just got to drop your tailgate. So this is the easy answer to work around this. So yeah, I mean, aside from there, this gives you a really good angle at the paint job, so you can really see that pearl come out in that charcoal. So it's almost like a multifaceted paint job that it's kind of deceptive on the eyes, and I love it. I'm really, really big on the colorway that the customer picked out. They were particular about it up front. I think it's being executed really, really well, and I think it's gonna turn out awesome. That being said, those are the next 2 big updates on this build. Is we're gonna be doing full upholstery in this thing. That'll run into our upholstery department. We'll be doing a wood bed on this thing, and then from there, you're down to test miles. You're just down to fine tuning, working out all the bugs, and making sure when this customer gets it back, it's exactly how he wanted it. Forgot to mention the chassis side of things. Of course, this is sitting on a level 2 coilover chassis. This is a performance coilover chassis. This thing is perfect for street sport. We're gonna be calling this the FFG Sport chassis because it's lowered, it's sexy, it's on performance coilovers. We get these from Ride Tech, and it's a very, very engineered and dialed setup. So it's crazy because you build a truck like this and it looks aesthetically pleasing. This thing performs, or will perform, fantastically. It'll be something, if the customer did want to take it to the track, it'll perform at the track, want to do some light autocross with it, they're built for this. If you've seen previous builds we've done, like for example the GT500 swapped truck that we just did,
counter steer and then drive out. Let's drive it out. Well, you make it look so easy.
This is sitting on the exact same platform that is. It just doesn't have a drift brake, and it doesn't have dual piston brakes in the rear. So aside from that, same frame, same engineering, this thing will perform amazingly. And we make the best product in the industry. We make the best chassis. And whatever this guy wants to do to this truck, he'll know that it's fully capable of that. So anyways, that's about all we have to cover right now, mostly on the paint aesthetics. This is, I think, the first time we're showing this truck reassembled in its own videos. So you'll see more of this as we get it closer to completion. But anyways, we're really grateful to have this one to be a part of it. And you're gonna see a lot on this in the near future as we get closer to finishing it. So anyways, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Anything that you wanted to see that you didn't see, any ideas that you might have for us. We're producing content at a rapid rate, and we want to hear your feedback on what you like and what's going well. So drop a comment below, like, subscribe, Tell everyone that you know to come to the channel. If you haven't been to the shop, come to the shop. You know who we are, you know how this game works. My name is Spencer, I'm here at Fender Garage. This is one of the baddest 67 F100s on the planet and a build that has done something we've never done before. Thanks again for joining, we're so grateful to have you. Look forward to seeing you next time.